Hi there, Amy Starr Allen here, and this is video 2 of a series that I'm doing with email marketing tips and strategies. And because I asked the question in my Facebook group recently to see where people were struggling the most in their business, and pretty much everybody that answered the question answered with some form of something that had to do with email, coming up with content for emails or coming up with ideas for what to write or copywriting strategies or conversions. And so I decided I would just do a series of videos to talk about email marketing and give you some different tips and strategies just based on what I do myself in my business. Okay, so this is video 2. If you missed video 1, I will link to it below this video so that you can see the last strategy that I taught. The strategy that I'm going to talk about today is just about telling a story. And this is a great strategy because when you get in the habit of, knowing that you're going to be writing an email to your list on a regular basis, whether it's daily or several times a week or whatever, the more you do it, the more you're going to start to notice things that are happening in your life that are kind of relatable to what you want to share in your email. Or maybe it's just, a cool, inspiring thing that happened in your day and it's something that you want to share with your list. And while doing that, you can kind of make it relevant to whatever your niche is or whatever you're promoting at that time or whatever. We are just at the tail end of a promotion that's happening right now. It actually ends today for my favorite tool to promote, which is the HBA Funnel Builder. And so all week long, I've been sending out emails talking about how people can get a free 7-day trial of the HBA Funnel Builder. So that free trial is, another way to look at that free trial is it's basically a test drive. It's the opportunity for people to get this product for free and give it a test drive without having to spend any money. And so I was thinking about the day that I test drove the car that I ended up buying. And it was the first car that I test drove, and it was kind of on a whim. And I was just thinking about all the similarities between what the HBA is offering right now with this free trial, which they've never done before, and the day that I test drove my car. And so I just wrote an email kind of telling the story about the day that I went to test drive this car. And I just told a story. So I had a wild hair one day and I decided to head over to the Volkswagen dealership and test drive some cars. I'd never owned a new car and I wasn't really planning to buy anything. I just wanted to see what it would feel like to drive something brand new and fully loaded. At the time, I was driving a beat up old stick shift Pathfinder with manual windows. So even this is kind of relatable to what I'm going to talk about with the funnel builder because, regardless of what my target market might be trying to do right now to promote their products and services, whatever tool they're using probably doesn't have all of the bells and whistles and the comfort of this tool. I mean, I know that. It's hard for anybody else to really know that though, unless they try it for themselves, hence the test drive. So I took one on a test drive as soon as I got there and I totally fell in love with it. The salesperson came with me, which was helpful because he was showing me all of the controls and pointing out all of the bells and whistles. So this is what typically happens, right? When we're sharing something, our products and services with people, we're showing them, we're pointing things out, right? But they're not necessarily doing it themselves. And then I went on to say, and then he and I drove a few others as well, but my favorite was still the first one. It was actually amazing to me, the difference between this car and the one I had been driving for so many years. I loved all of the modern technology, and it had a panoramic sunroof, which is basically a window that occupies the entire roof. It had the most beautiful leather interior, a light color, which I loved, and lots of bells and whistles, things I had never experienced before. It was so next level for me, and it made me feel so happy when I drove it. I could picture myself owning it. So I sat down with the salesperson to go over the numbers. So again, as I'm telling the story, it's so relatable to what my experience has also been like driving the HBA Funnel Builder. It makes me happy. It's fun to use. It has a lot of features that I've never experienced before, even with the more expensive platforms that I've used, right? So I'm weaving this all into my story, and my story is 100% true. This was my experience at the dealership, but it was just really cool to me to kind of realize how similar this test drive experience at the dealership was to what I'm going to offer my audience with a test drive of this incredible next level tool, right? I was on the fence about it, but then something really cool happened. The owner of the dealership walked into the office I was sitting in with the salesperson, and she said, "Here are the keys. Go take it for a few hours, pretend it's yours, and see how it feels." Then she handed me $30 in cash and told me to treat myself to dinner while I was out, since I had been at the dealership since lunchtime and she knew I was hungry. Whoa, how cool is that? So I took the car and I went out to dinner. I even called one of my friends to ask her if I was crazy for considering buying the first car I test drove. She said, "No, you totally deserve it. And think about what a difference it'll make to have a reliable car and one that's actually fun to drive." Again, all of this is relating to my message for today, which is like, wow, for the first time ever, the HBA is offering the opportunity for you to take this tool and drive it without me on your own. You can log in, you can choose your fonts or upload the fonts that you like to use that you own. You can program in all of the colors in your color scheme into the builder, get it all set up and use it for yourself for an entire week for free so that you can actually see what it does. Without me demonstrating it for you or telling you how awesome it is, you're going to get to do this for yourself. And I remember when I drove the car that day, when this woman gave me the keys and told me to just go on my own, I had been driving it with the salesperson earlier and he was pointing stuff out to me and stuff, but I wasn't on my own. It didn't feel like mine because I had somebody with me trying to sell it to me, right? So she let me take it on my own. And that was a game changer for me. That's what sold the car for me because I was able to picture it as mine. I was able to just see how it really feels for me without anybody helping me or pointing out all of the controls. I was learning how to find the controls and to use the controls on my own. So I went on to say, I still remember what it was like to walk out of the restaurant and walk over to that car instead of my old beater. And all I had to do was touch the door handle and it unlocked. This was such an amazing feature that I never would have experienced if I hadn't taken the car on my own and parked it and locked it for a while. So this reminded me of when I first purchased the funnel builder for myself. At first glance, it didn't look like anything that different. But once I started using it, I started seeing like it was way different than anything I had ever used before. It was much more user-friendly. It was just easy. Like how I touched the door handle and it opened on its own. That's how it felt to me. Long story short, I went back to the dealership and signed the papers and drove that car home that night. It was now mine. It felt so good. I still have that car to this day and I still love it as much as I did the day I test drove it. So why am I sharing this story with you? In case you missed any of my emails in the last couple days, I want to let you know about something that's happening right now that has never happened before. Anyway, and then I went on to talk about this promotion that's happening with the HBA Funnel Builder and the fact that you can test drive it right now for free for 7 days without spending any money at all. And then I even tied the $30 cash that she gave me to take myself out to dinner. I even tied that in here. I said, you can test drive this powerful tool for a full week, try out all the bells and whistles and pay nothing. And remember how the dealership owner handed me $30 to take myself to dinner? Well, what I'm about to offer you is worth way more than $30. When you get free access to this tool, you will also get free access to our premium traffic and conversions mastermind for the entire week as well. This means that you get instant access to the traffic sources, conversion training. I list all of this stuff. This is all worth way more than $30 to get free access to our premium membership. And then I tell them how to go ahead and do this. I give them specific instructions. And then in the PS line, I said, PS, by the way, the salesperson had also told me about a bonus that the dealership offered. He said that they would detail the car every Saturday if I wanted to bring it in for 3 years. Being a single mom with 2 little kids at the time, this was huge. I asked, does this include vacuuming up all of the goldfish crackers that my kids spill in the back seat? And they said, yes, of course. And this made a huge difference for me in my decision. And I knew I was done shopping. And then I share my bonuses that I'm offering for anybody that wants to take this tool for a test drive. When it comes to marketing, there's going to be similarities in online and offline. Marketing is marketing. So the dealership, that little added touch where they let me take it on my own and paid for my dinner, that helped in my buying decision. The bonus that they threw in where they said we are going to detail your car every Saturday, no matter how messy it is from your 2 little kids, that made a huge difference for me. And that's when I knew I was done shopping. Like they were really taking care of me. I felt really taken care of. And I knew that I wanted the car and I wanted to buy it from them. And so that's what marketing does if you do it right, right? So it's going to be the same across the board, regardless of if you're marketing something physical, tangible like a car, or if you're marketing a digital software like I am here. I just kind of used the parallel to share a story about how I test drove this car to show my audience how they could test drive this tool and then also provide the bonuses for them. And you can do this regardless of, this week I happen to be promoting, we have a special promotion going on. So a lot of my emails have been about that. But even if you don't have a promotion going on, storytelling is a really powerful way to connect with your audience. It's a really, it's something that people can really relate to. It's a way that people can get to know you better. I heard a quote just this week, actually, that said something like, if you don't tell your story, people will make up their own version of what they think your story is. They'll think that they know something about you. So the more that you can share parts of yourself, the more you can connect with your audience and the more that they can get to know you, like you, and trust you and learn about you, because if you don't tell stories, then you're just a person online trying to sell them something, right? But if you can just share yourself with your people, that's going to make a huge difference. It makes you more relatable. Some people might not like it, right? Like that was one of the things I was afraid of when I first started marketing online. I was afraid that, if I share too much, that some people might be turned off by who I am. And the fact is, that's probably true. I'm sure there are people that are turned off by who I am and my stories about being a single mom or whatever. But the thing is, the more you share, the right people will feel connected to you and they will follow you to the ends of the earth. I made a sale yesterday, actually, in my business from somebody that has been on my email list for years. So that's what happens. Like when people can relate to you and they like you, the only way for them to know that they like you is for you to consistently provide value for them and share parts of yourself. And storytelling is a really good way to do that. So the fact that somebody has been on my email list for years says a lot, because she could have unsubscribed a long time ago. Obviously, there's something that I'm saying that's keeping her around. There's something that I'm saying that is relatable, right? So that's the power of storytelling. So you can use storytelling in your emails as much as you want, every day if you want. There's never any shortage of stories to tell, whether it's a story from the past, like the one I just shared with you, or a story about something that happened today while you were on your walk that is relatable to your audience. There's never a shortage of stories. Therefore, there's never a shortage of content that you can use in your emails to connect with your audience. So I hope this helps. Definitely let me know if you have any questions. Depending on when you see this video, this free 7-day test drive might still be going on with the HBA funnel builder. I will leave a link to that below this video. But even if it has expired, it expires on April 12th at 11:11 p.m. Mountain Time. Even if it has expired by the time you watch your video, no worries. The link will still take you to where you can purchase the HBA funnel builder. It's only $25 a month, and I'm not kidding. It is the most easy to use, fun to use, awesome tool that I've ever used in my business before. And I've tried a lot of the other ones out there on the marketplace. So I encourage you, if the free trial is still going on, definitely take advantage of it. If it's not, go ahead and take it for a test drive anyway, because I promise you, you won't be disappointed. And I hope to see you inside. Definitely subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my videos, and leave me a comment to let me know you stopped by. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to leave those too. I will see you in the next video.